We're not late, are we?
Yeah, we are live.
We are live.
Oh, we're not late. No, we're not late. No, we are on time.
Good. Welcome and to healthierlife.tv. Make sure I get that right. Today's headline: Restore Vigor and Arrest Decay.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked that. I found it in a book. You know, I don't make these things up myself. I just play around with words and come up with something. I was thinking of writing 2 books. Okay.
One about Vigor and one about Decay.
No, nothing to do with headline. The first one's to do with football refereeing, soccer, and it's from. And I'm going to give you the soft version. From hero to dog poop. Right,
Okay.
and that's based on 1 minute you're a hero and you're given a great decision, and the next minute the same people are shouting at you because they disagree with your decision.
Yeah, I like the way that he uses the word dog, or the term dog poop.
Yeah, poop. I didn't have poop written down.
Very subtle.
Another word. Okay. And the second one, you like this. Let me give you it. It's elephant on a tea trolley. Elephant on a tea trolley. Now, what that relates to is me, 2005, trying to learn to surf.
Oh, okay.
It was the most pathetic thing you've ever seen in your life.
Anybody trying to surf is the most pathetic thing you've ever seen in your life.
Until you crack it.
Until you get it.
It's fine.
Yeah, the moment you crack
it,
it's like riding a bicycle. The moment you crack that, then it's done.
Well, the whole idea was to learn to surf and then look good. So I could surf, then I'd go away and look, get the old 6-pack and all that type of thing. Anyway, let's move on.
Very few surfers have 6-packs. Very few surfers have.
No, you know what I mean. No, there's a way of looking okay. For someone like me. Anyway, restore vigor, arrest decay. So we all have daily struggles. Okay, would you agree with that?
Most naturally, we have.
And life and work and other things, they have demands on us. And would you agree that you need to keep physically and mentally fit?
To be able to cope with those demands. Yes.
Just to live, really.
In general, yeah.
In general. But the question is, how many of us actually work on our fitness, physical fitness, our health, when we're talking about diet and nutrition and things like that, and work on the mental side as well?
Mm-hmm.
How many people actually combine that all together?
All three. Yeah, which is what I do with my clients, right? And what you do with your clients. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And but the general feeling is at the moment everyone's coming or post COVID, and people are wandering around like it's a movie. What's the movie with all the people?
Like the Walking Dead or something like that.
Yeah, that type of thing. And okay, it's not that bad, but you see what I'm getting at. And people have forgotten that we should have vigor, we should have some enthusiasm and things like that. And we know life takes its toll, and there are struggles. Nobody's trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes, but then you come back down to reality. You've still got the achy knee. Right, you still got the neck ache, you still got the headaches. You want to sit watching television. Well, look, don't get me wrong. I used to love sitting there watching television. I could watch it for 4 hours, no problem.
Oh yeah.
I don't watch television anymore.
Very seldom.
But I do watch Netflix.
Yeah. I don't watch telly, but Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix, and I'll watch specific things that I like. I'm into crime and being an ex-police officer, I'm into crime and all that type of thing. That's fine. But it's all about the whole package.
Speaking of crime, and just a sidebar here, myself and Laura, our daughter, and
just lost your volume a little bit there.
Okay. Sometimes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So myself and our daughter Laura, and sometimes my wife, we've been watching CI5, The Professionals.
Oh yeah. I watch that occasionally, but I actually do watch ITV4 television. You know.
So we're watching the whole series at the moment. We're going through the series, all those different series. It's a nice memories for us, or for me at least. Nice memories.
Yeah, I like it because they have all these sorts of things happen, but nobody gets hurt, really, do they?
Yeah, no.
They get shot, but there's no blood.
It's nice. It's nice spy stuff. It's not the violent, overly violent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so going back to restoring vigor, because vigor is what we want at the end of the day. We want to, as I say, you want at the end of your life, you want to become screeching to a halt. You don't want to have been spending 30 years in a blooming chair just watching television. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot this life has to offer, and as you said, I think we said on Monday, you can start at any age.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't got to get to a certain age and think, oh, well, I'm just waiting to die or whatever. No, you don't have to do that. You know, you should be enjoying life, and happiness and contentment and joy and things like that should be at the forefront of everything. If it's not, maybe you need to talk to someone, you know, but it's your choice. I always say that.
I mean, you don't necessarily need to talk to somebody, but if you're doing something regularly and you're not enjoying it and it keeps you down, then just do what you can to move away from that. Don't stick around.
Absolutely. So when I was thinking about restoring vigor, right, I'm not Viagra, vigor. Okay. I found
same.
I found that the Americans spelt it different to us.
What, Viagra?
No, vigor. Let's not talk about Viagra, okay? Right. So, vigor. The Americans spell it without a U, and we spell it with a U.
Yes.
Okay. So, however, anyway, I looked to restoring vigor a bit like the Star Wars, not trilogy, the whole thing, you know. And I'm thinking about doing the right things, and it's like The Empire Strikes Back, isn't it? You know, there's these dark overlords and things like that. And if we allow them to take over, we're on the way down. And sometimes if you allow them to take over too much, you're finished.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, we look at what people do, their lifestyles and everything else. And the thing is, the individual doesn't know they're on a downward trend.
True.
Because you don't know what's going on inside.
Well, in some cases, a downward spiral.
A downward spiral. You know, and I look at it
as is what's happened in life in general. Everything happens like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It kind of creeps up on you before you realize it. You know, societal changes creep up on us. Medical changes creep up on us. Health changes creep up on us, and then it's not something that happens overnight. It doesn't, like you say, it doesn't just come to us. One morning you wake up and boom. It happens over time.
It's a bit like I don't want to go into politics, but it's a bit like communism. It creeps in. Know? No, it does, and you don't. A lot of times you don't notice it creeping in, and then all of a sudden you look up. It's the war between good and evil, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You know, they're there. They're in place, all over the place, and you didn't see it coming because you didn't. Your eyes weren't open and whatever. So what I was trying to say is that I'd rather be with the Jedis and the peacekeeping of the Galactic Republic, right? The good guys, all right? And that's what we want to get over to people. It's very, very important. Okay, so there are two things that we need to restore our vigor that I can think of: physical strength and good health. Mm-hmm. It's a combination of what you see with someone on the outside, with also combining it with what's going on in the inside. Because sometimes, not every time, you look at someone and say, well, they're vibrant, they're this, they're that. Okay? And you do need that. That is an outward show of how you feel. Okay? But coupled together is the inside. Okay?
Of course.
And I think it's actually very, very crucial. So the question is, how robust are you? Because that could give us a clue or clues as to how well you're doing. Are you full of vitality? What does vitality mean to you, Ron?
Vitality to me means about just having a zest for life, for new things, and not being fearful of new things coming in, entering into our space, into our world. That's vitality to me.
Yeah. Stamina.
Mm-hmm.
And stamina is not only for that cross-country runner, it's also for us. Stamina to keep going. So in the hours of daylight hours, when your general person is up, and I know people do shift work, but in the daylight hours, right, you want to have stamina so that you feel great the whole time.
Yeah.
We're fighting phones and dogs there. We're doing well.
You carry on, Paul. Carry on, Paul. Sorry, just carry on.
That's all right. Anyway, so we need stamina. We also need strength because to be able to attack the day, and give. And there's three things you're going to be looking for. Number one is effort. How much effort are you giving things? Are you giving it everything, or are you 50%? Okay. It's much more exciting when you're talking about effort to give it everything you got. All right. So at the end of the day, you're satisfied with what you've done. Now for you to put that 100% effort in, you've got to have the right energy. Okay. And energy is it's mental and physical. All right. So you keep going like the old Energizer bunny. You keep going the whole time. And the last thing is enthusiasm. Right? We've all been around people that go, okay. And you just, after about a minute with them, you think, I don't want to be here anymore. Get out of my house. And it's normally friends and family. But
normally friends and family.
I'm only joking. I've got friends and family who watch this, so I'm not talking about you, obviously. So, but sometimes you have to be intense, right? And slightly obsessive in a way. I don't like the word obsessive, but if you're going towards a goal or something like that, you need to be a little bit obsessive to stay on track.
Yeah, I mean, look, obsessive can be tempered. Being obsessive can also be a tempered thing as well. It doesn't have to be over the top.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no. If you're obsessive and intense, then you're gonna, people are gonna want to kick you out of their house. But you're right. If you have something that you have in mind, it's important to have some level of obsessiveness about it, but it can be tempered too, because that gives you that drive, that stimulus, that momentum.
And you get that from an eagerness for life.
Sure.
You've got to have a smile in your face. If you're a sourpuss, people won't want to be around you. If you're moaning, no, don't get me wrong. I've gone through stages of moaning, and people don't want to be around you. I'm going to assure you.
No, they don't. Yeah.
So the question is,
you just look at no. But you just look at individual interactions with people, and they ask you, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then you say, "Oh no, life is good, thanks, but business is not easy. Business is tough, perhaps, or something." As an example, the moment you start to go along that road, people don't want to know. They just want you to shut up, because it's just they're not interested. Okay, so people instinctively they don't want to have that negative energy coming, even if it's not really negative. You're just talking. The person asks you a question, you're giving them an answer, right? You're not being a downer. You're just giving them an honest answer. But people don't want to know. They don't want to hear that. So yeah.
Or as Donald Sutherland said in the film Kelly's Heroes, "Hey, stop the negative vibes, man." But look, the question is, do you? Now I'm talking to anybody listening to this. Do you need help in this area? All right. If you do, don't listen to this. No, I'm joking. The bottom line is we'll need to spark our life into action or doing something. All right. And if you spend your time around unhealthy people, you're probably going to be unhealthy. All right. And the same goes for everything else. If you want a specific trait, skill, ability, or health, or whatever it is, look for people that have got what you want.
This is why it's so important. If somebody wants to change their life in any way, like whether it be financial, whether it be health-wise, fitness-wise, all of the above, spiritually, mentally, and if they're around their family all the time, which we typically are, but the family's not on board with that same vision or even supporting you in that vision, you're eventually going to lose that momentum. You're going to lose the drive, the motivation, unless you have an obsessiveness about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to eventually lose that, right? Because you're not around, like you say, you're not around other people that are inspiring you and motivating you at the same time. And the majority will eventually just pull you back. And this is what happens so often, is the majority hold us back because the majority are not inspired. So you've got to weigh up your options here. Do you stay around that, or do you move into a new space? And if the family's not supporting you, then who is going to support you other than yourself? And if not, then you got to go out there and find people that do support you.
Now you said a word earlier called zest. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Probably the only word I didn't see in my research.
It
probably was there, but I didn't see it.
Okay.
But the one I wrote down is very similar, and that's zeal.
Oh, zeal.
So what you want to do is get everyone listening to this. What you need is get a bit of paper, stick it on the wall, and write zeal and zest. Right? Now, zeal is all about great energy. Now, to get anywhere in life, you need great energy. Otherwise, people will turn you off. The other thing you need is enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or objective. Right? You need to have a goal.
Yeah.
It's very healthy to have a goal. Assume it's one that's legal, ethical, moral. And so how do we boost your vigor? Okay. Well, it's only you can do it. We can't do it for you. We can give you some ideas. And I wrote something down here. What does it say? Oh, no, something. No, I'll come to that. So where are we taking this? Okay. What we're talking about is restoring vigor. The way you do that is by attacking the cells, your cellular health. Okay. Now you've got trillions of cells. You have cancer in your body. Don't want to scare you now, but you've got cancer in your body. So, and cancer cells are cells that have gone wrong. Now, if you develop cancer, it means that there's more gone wrong than should be.
Right. Yeah.
So what actually happens with a cell? A cell kills itself. This is a healthy process, by the way. I'm not sure. Is it 120 days? I can't really remember now. Maybe 120 days. I'm not sure on that one. But it kills itself, and that's healthy, and it eats itself, and any little bits get absorbed, no problem. But what happens is you have cancer cells, and you normally have ones that grow and some that die, and that is a normal process. But sometimes, because of the way we run our lives, we allow these cancer cells to grow. So let me give you an example. Yes, you can drink alcohol, but if you drink too much, right, one of the things you increase is dopamine. Now we all need dopamine because it's the old good hit, and makes you feel good and whatever. But the problem is people that drink to excess produce too much dopamine. So again, we're talking about balance. Okay, so if you go over balance, it starts to go wrong. And if you do that every day for the year, 5 years, or whatever it is, then sooner or later you're going to pay the price.
True.
Okay, so that's why I haven't drunk very much this year. I've had one bad day. Well, bad day for me was 6 drinks. That's only once. But I do remember days in the past when it wasn't the best. But
I used to drink 20 beers in a night when I would go out.
How many?
20 beers a night when I'd go out.
I've drunk 15 pints.
Yeah.
Not good.
No,
What it is, though, everyone healthy are all ex-alcoholics.
No, I wouldn't call myself an ex-alcoholic, and
No,
I'm
you
certainly
know
an
what I mean.
alcoholic too.
We're doing things that are not exactly the best things to do.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So
Because we know from experience that we come from a place of wisdom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So restoring vigor really is actually reversing the trend of doing things wrong. All right. So we as humans, we allow the decay to get worse daily. Okay. So what I wanted to say is think of a pond. Now, a pond that has a trickle of water coming in it from a little stream or something, it's fine. Changes up the oxygen, changes everything. But you've seen these ponds that just sit there and fester.
It's stagnant.
Stagnant. Yeah, that's the word I was going to say. Stagnant. And we all get stagnant, right? In the way we run our lives and things like that. So one of the things you want to aim at is not remaining stagnant. Okay.
If you look at, you talk about water, and I'll give you an example from a experiential perspective. If you look at even a dam, for example, let's say a dam, the flow of water coming into a dam is limited, or it is no longer exists because of a drought or something like that. In certain environments, like for example in South Africa, you'll get bilharzia, which is it's a type of virus that lives in the water, and then that flows upstream through your urinal tract. Okay, so that because now there's no water coming into the dam, and the water sits and it becomes stagnant, so they can't release water because there's no water, so it sits and it becomes stagnant. That's even on a large scale. So imagine what's happening when you're doing that with something like that to your body, where you stop feeding your body that life force. Okay, whatever that life force is, if it's water or nutrition or nutrients, your body is going to become toxic like that. And I'm just giving an analogy of a large body of water that becomes toxic and poisonous, at least to us, that is. So it's, the water is a great example because that is the source of life, right? And if we're not giving our bodies that fuel, our mind is going to become depleted. The strength of our mind, the status of our conditioning, everything like that will become depleted and toxic. And then this is when cancer says, hello, it steps in, and you keep feeding it. And then the cancer cells grow.
Yeah. So there's two words I don't want you ever to have to listen to. One is benign.
Benign.
But even worse, malignant.
Okay, yeah.
Right, we were talking about cancer, and accelerates. When things are going wrong, they can accelerate very, very quickly. When they take over and they keep going.
Mm-hmm.
What it is, normally when I said about growth and death of a cell, what you want is you want the death of a cell because you want a new one. All right? You don't want these horrible cancerous cells. They break up and they start all going around all the body. They break up, and that's when you can get cancer in different parts of the body. That's what happens. So the key is prevention, all right? So now we're in this business of health. We are not necessarily in the business of preventing cancer. Okay, we can point you in the direction that can help.
Tools.
But we'll and we know that cancer can be very, very hard to cure once it's got a foothold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So we're not going to go down that route. Okay, but what your body needs is good stuff, right? Your body needs good stuff, good lifestyle, and everything else, and we can guide you in that. All right.
Sure.
So think of the cells. Think of a good cell and a bad cell. A good cell will let nutrients in and get rid of waste. A bad cell won't let the nutrients in very, very much because it's much harder, and it won't allow the waste to get out, and that's what causes the problems. So, we talk about omega-3s. The omega-3s are probably the only thing that actually get in there and keep the cell malleable to allow the nutrients in
And the toxins out.
And the waste out. And that's what we work on. The rest is down to the miracle of the body.
Yes.
Okay. Now, most omega-3s don't work. Reason they don't work is because how they're formulated. Number one, you've got to have a quality product. Okay, we accept that. But also, they need to have chaperones.
True.
The chaperone is polyphenols. So the polyphenol come from, the extra virgin olive oil, the picture olives that are picked before they're ripe.
Yeah, pre-cultured, or not pre-cultured, pre-harvested.
Yeah. So that's what we work on. Okay. So all I'm trying to say is that there are some things you can do. All right. So let's just what can people do to boost their vigor? What are some of the things they can do? Just want to run through them pretty quickly. What would you suggest, Warren?
Begin to be more curious about life. That's a great way of increasing your vigor when you become curious again about life. I heard somebody say once recently on a documentary is that people don't ask questions because they think they know the answers. And I was just watching a talk just now about reality and perception, and one of the hosts was saying that if we can come away from this talk asking more questions, we've reached our goal. Because we're talking about reality and perception, and I think for most of us, it's a very simple thing, especially for those that are really busy and super inundated with life, family, work, business, whatever. If you can just become more curious about your own life and life around you, that's going to instinctively increase your vigor, because you will start to see things differently. Your senses will be heightened. Your brain will be thinking of new things as opposed to just the same stuff every day in and day out, Monday to Friday. Saturday to Sunday may be a slight edge for you, but that's very often set on the couch watching sport or binge watching Netflix or something like that. So become more curious about life. I think that's one of the easiest things that we can do for ourselves to increase our vigor and vitality, for that matter.
Right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say 9 headings. Now, what I want you to do, Warren, is give us one tip to go with the heading, and I'll do the same.
Okay.
All right. So let's see how we go on. So, what would you say about a healthy diet? What would be one thing you could change, maybe that some people aren't doing?
A healthy diet.
Yeah, just one thing.
Balance.
Keeping a balanced diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Enjoy life. Enjoy food.
Why would they do that?
Because you're not taking anything away. You're not sacrificing anything necessarily. You're just being more responsible about what you're eating. So you're still enjoying the things that you enjoy to eat, but in the same breath, you're consuming the things that you know are going to be beneficial for you and your health and your body and your longevity. So there's no sacrifice involved, right? You're just being more responsible.
My tip would be, if you're not already, get rid of all cooking oils and things like that, and all those types of things, and try and use extra virgin olive oil. Mm-hmm. Okay, because that's a monosaturated fat, and it's great for you.
But not for cooking, though.
No, not for cooking.
Yeah,
this is just for eating, like on a Mediterranean diet. You could even have a teaspoon a day.
Sure, on its own.
Yeah, on its own. Okay.
Yeah. If you're going to for talking of cooking oils, if you're going to cook with an oil, use an olive oil, but not the extra virgin, the cold press stuff. Just a straightforward olive oil. Yeah. You can use it, and they have that for cooking. Stay away from the canola, linseed, sunflower.
Oh yeah, all those ones. Horrible. Right, we'll talk about exercise for a second. Mm-hmm. Give us one reason or one tip that you could do for exercise.
Mobility.
What? Keep on the move.
just learn how to. Mobility is learning how to move your body, or how the body is moved. The ability of the body to be moved or move, and that's key. Especially for most of our listeners and viewers here, they're of the age where mobility is a major factor in their life, is lack of mobility. So if you want to have one word for exercise, mobility.
Yeah, and obviously my one is stretching.
Similar.
when you're stretching your muscles, you're increasing your heart rate. It allows the blood to flow well, and allows the nutrients to reach other parts of bodies that make
that's part of mobility. That's part of mobility, Paul.
Yeah. So
stretching.
Yeah. So again, it's we're on the same wavelength. So third thing, proper sleep. Why would you want proper sleep?
Why?
Why?
Because it allows the heart and the brain, which are like batteries, if you think of them as batteries, to regenerate overnight, and allows your body to regenerate. So regeneration, sleep regeneration, if you want one word.
Yeah. I would say it helps you feel great. And that's, we know sleep deprivation causes problems. What about mental stimulus?
Meditation.
Oh, you've nicked my one. That's not good. But any form of mental stimulus, it keeps you sharp, keeps you mentally fit. Okay, so find ways of mentally stimulating your brain and body. So you feel great. What about stress?
Breathe.
So expand on that a little bit.
So if you are experiencing stress, invariably you're in a state of fear of some kind. You may not perceive to be fear, but there's fear behind this. And then you are not breathing as you should be. Your body starts to direct the blood flow towards the heart and the brain, and not to other parts of the body, to keep you functioning properly. But in the same, so you need to start to breathe so that you get things going, flowing properly throughout the body. And slow your breathing down. Breathe. There's a little tip here for people if they're experiencing stress, okay? And it's something that you can apply anywhere. It doesn't matter. Now I have a pendant which I wear, and it sits in my solar plexus. Yeah, so the pendant typically sits over here, and it's a little pendant, and it just sits there. And that little bit of applied weight to my solar plexus, that area around my heart, okay, just around where my level of my heart is. If you can apply your thumb here, or just place your hands over there and slow your breathing down, that tells your brain and your body that you're safe. So if you're feeling stressed, you're typically, you're thinking danger, all right, fear. So you want to just place your hands by your heart and then just slow your breathing down, and that sends signals to your body that everything is okay. And that will help to reduce the stress levels quite significantly, actually.
Okay, right. My one would be avoid negative environments, because over time it will lead to a weaker immune system, and we all need a good immune system at the present time.
Look, some people, they don't have a choice really, or they don't see themselves as having a choice but being in a negative environment, because they could be at work 9 hours a day. That's very negative. They could come home, they have a very negative family environment. The world is predominantly negative around us. So not everybody can see the opportunity for themselves to take themselves away from that, especially in the immediate sense. So you're right. You want to eventually, that should be your end goal, take yourself out of a negative experience, but it's not always pertinent for, or not necessarily pertinent, might not be the right word, but it's not always something that is practical in the immediate sense for people, for individuals.
Yeah. But
which makes it,
in general, avoid negative environments if you can. So, so what about vitamin D?
Sunshine. Get outside, nature.
Healthy sunshine, yeah. You need vitamin D, don't you? It's very simple. Get out there. Get out there and, not necessarily in the hottest part of the day, but get half an hour of vitamin D every day by just going outside, because it helps the body's resistance. and
helps to boost the immune system.
Absolutely. If you can't get it from going outside, which I would implore you to do, I would say find a good vitamin supplement also to back it up.
But a natural vitamin D supplement, not some chemically produced stuff.
Oh, it's all about natural. Absolutely. So
just an interesting sidebar here, factual sidebar. Where would you say, there's a question for you, where would you say the area on the planet where there's the most deficiency of vitamin D per capita?
In a city.
No, let's say a zonal area on the planet.
Oh, zonal area.
Like a region.
That's a good question, actually. Probably Alaska.
The largest deficiency of vitamin D is in the Middle East.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Because most people cover themselves up, especially Muslim ladies and men. They covered up.
Oh, I see you mean, yeah.
And they don't go outside as much. They're not outside. They're always in the shade or AC, that kind of stuff. And so per capita, like this is the largest deficiency of vitamin D in the Middle East.
Were you talking about places like Dubai and things like that?
Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, those kind of countries. Yemen.
Okay. So the next thing, maintain a healthy weight. What would you say to that? Just one thing.
That's what I'm trying to think. Is one thing is a bit. Again, probably balance would be the key word here for me. Again, is balance. Balance between good eating, good sleep, good exercise or activities, and enjoying life. Very often when we attach having to lose fat or lose weight, as most people say, is you take that out of your equation. You don't want to have to lose fat or lose weight. Losing fat is the correct term. You don't want to lose weight. You want to lose fat. Be honest about it. But take that out of the equation and just be balanced about and responsible about being active, eating good, clean foods, getting good rest, and enjoying life. And you'll notice, because psychologically speaking, you're not attaching the fat loss to it anymore, and you will start to notice that your weight will start to reduce.
I would just say that by keeping a healthy weight, you take strain off of all the body parts like the heart and things like that.
Sure,
and obviously you reduce the risk of getting serious illness. Our favorite one: avoid smoking. What about smoking? What would you say? Just one thing about smoking.
Desire.
Okay. You've got it's up to the individual, but you've got the desire if you want to quit. I'm more technical one. I would say that you affect the blood vessels in the lungs and other parts of the body, and they lose their elasticity. You need your body to have that elasticity to work properly. So,
and again, you can this can be regained through the correct omega-3 intake into your body. That can be rectified and reversed. But if you continue to smoke, it's going to make it still harder. It's the omega-3 is not going to be able to do quite what it could be doing.
Yeah, I think what you said earlier, 2 words: downward spiral. Same with alcohol as well. And again, the last one would be about drinking.
Okay.
The biggest thing for me for this one is the negative effects on the endocrine system.
What drinking?
Yeah, big time. It's at the end of the day, we all like it. I mean, most people like a drink. I know quite a few people who don't drink. But so if you want to be happy and have a glass of red wine, that's fantastic. Nothing wrong with that at all. Small one, of course. Right? Very easy to have the big ones. But it affects the communication between the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the immune system.
Yes.
It affects it. There are hormonal disturbances that go on when you drink a lot. And the consequences are or can be very profound or serious. So, you know, and psychological.
And psychological, of course.
And behavioral as well. You know, how you behave.
And my one word with if I mean I've been choosing one word. I've been going with one word here so far. And if I was to take one word, it's habit. Drinking becomes a habit for people.
Yeah.
Smoking is different because smoking is addictive. So once you start smoking, there's more of an addictive inclination towards continuing smoking. Whereas with alcohol, I wouldn't say it's as addictive as nicotine or smoking cigarettes and tobacco is concerned, in the sense that, yes, there is an addictive tendency to it. And that's why people become alcoholics and drunkards and whatnot. But for me, the biggest thing is habit, and it's because it's a societal thing. In many cultures, it's considered cool to be drinking alcohol when you're out socializing, and that's fine. But as long as you're not drinking every single day, if you're drinking at home by yourself every day, that's a habit. That's got nothing to do with anything else, but other than being a habit. And you can break that. And in order to break a habit, all you got to do is teach yourself and your body and your brain to change the actions around that habit. And once you change those actions, you then develop new habits. And I'm not talking about substituting drinking for smoking either. Or anything else like that.
Yeah, vaping is just as bad. So
vaping's worse because there you get popcorn lung. And popcorn lung is still popcorn lung was
I've never heard of it.
Popcorn lung. So popcorn lung was basically taken from it's from the industrial industry, the construction industry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
The term, and it was from workers in a certain industry inhaling toxins and things like that. So it's like vape air, the vapor, inhaling, and then it creates a condition in the lungs. And it's even more dangerous than smoking a cigarette. And this is what the research and the science is showing. It's not conclusive yet, but it looks like it's more dangerous because it's more life-threatening because it's directly impacting your lungs. And think of popcorn in a microwave or on the stove. And there's some chemical reaction that goes on in there that causes this.
Could you do that again? It sounded good. Yeah, so look, everybody needs help occasionally, or coaching or guidance or whatever. If you do need, even we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Every day.
I have a coach. I have an accountability coach.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need it. And
I have an accountability group. That's how much help I need. So,
because we all go off target, we all veer off. Sometimes you need to be dragged back into the fold and doing the right things. So, look,
actually, sorry, Paul. Just one of the people in my one of the individuals in my accountability group is actually talking to my wife right now.
All right. Okay.
Doing discovery session with my wife right now. So yeah. For coaching. So she herself is searching for more coaching.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We need to network. Everyone needs to network. So what I was trying to get over was, if anyone needs any help at all, get in touch with us, and we'll have a little chat. See if
and also leave a comment in the thread here below on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you're viewing this or listening to this podcast. But leave a comment as well about things like how you've managed to overcome that, the decay in your life. If you've managed to overcome the decay in your life, because remember, decay is related to stagnation, as we said earlier on. So leave us some comments about how you've managed to overcome that in your life, because that could inspire somebody else that may read that. And it will give us some insights as to perhaps what another further subject matter Paul and I might explore talking about on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's even like being in a war in some respects, because it's very hard to hold the line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're either, as far as I see it, you're either moving forward and improving,
yeah,
you know, whether it's your health or whatever, or you're going backwards.
Yeah, there's a point in time when you've got to make a decision to move forward, because if you're continuously holding the line, you're eventually going to be overrun.
I reckon that's the hardest thing of it all. Trying to hold the line, thinking, I'll do this, but I won't do that. It's the combination of doing the good things that make the difference. You know. So anyway, we said enough about that. If you need any help, give us a shout. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. And
like, share, no, not like, love our conversation. Share the conversation, because Facebook loves that. So, and engage in conversation with us. On here.
We'll talk to you. Promise, we will talk to you.
We'll always respond to you.
So with that, we're going, and have a fantastic day.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
We'll speak to you soon.
When it arrives.
When it arrives, yeah. That's the trouble with us used to do it on a Friday. So anyway, okay, speak to you soon, everyone. Bye.
Bye now.